All right, guys, League One recap, episode 1, week 1. Basically, the objective here is we're just going to go through some of the games that we went to this week, highlight some scores from around the league, and then bring to you what we call our games of the week that we'll be at this weekend. Feel free to contact us, send us a message if you think this is something you'd like to be a part of. We're hopefully going to have some guests on in the future, and maybe we'll come to one of your games. So definitely engage with the episode and stay tuned. Starting right away, Sigma SCopi. So it was you, Drew, and Flo went out to the game. Like, how'd it go?
So it was great. Honestly, like the environment was just awesome. Tim Hortons Field, like once you're there, you're on the pitch. That's where Forge plays. The Hamilton Ticats, big teams play there. And honestly, even though the stands weren't packed, it was still a game worthy of a stadium full of people. 0-0 at half, and then SCopi winning it a bit late. Thomas Skublak, little tap in at the end, gets 3 points away from SCopi. And a little dive celebration. We've seen that before, the FC Berlin's fall season before, and it's just great atmosphere once again for first great game of the season, and very tough game all around.
Yeah, for sure. Some of the clips that we posted did pretty well, especially that one Evan Dick slide tackle. The guy's always good for a big Brexit tackle. So shout out the homie Evan. Now moving on to Saturday, we took a little road trip out to Tricar Field to go check out FC London versus Woodbridge. Woodbridge obviously a little closer to home, being the club I'm playing for right now, but kind of a contested game. Beautiful venue, 20 degrees out by kickoff. Honestly, 8:45.
Yeah, bunch
Great
of people
night.
out.
A lot of people out. They were selling food, drinks, merch.
Couple FC loggers.
Yeah, they had their own merchandised beer, so it was a good game. But on the field, pretty contested again. They left it late. First half, back and forth, trading chances. Most of the game was within the middle half of the field. Not really too many chances in the first half. And then 74th minute, Julia Benatti curls one in the top corner, to be fair. Keeper got a hand to it, but couldn't quite keep it out. And then in a similar play a little bit later, puts it a little higher, out of reach for the keeper. And then Jess Lisi, last minute of the game, gets a PK off a shot that was deflected off a hand, and then puts the penalty shot away, but unfortunately a little too late for the Bridge, and hopefully we can bounce back next weekend.
Yeah, and once again, really tough game, especially like the weather was great, everything was great, the vibes all around were great, lots of supporters, lots of noise, so kind of like shows you how the girls were playing under a bit of pressure, and obviously the first game of the season, there's going to be a lot of people out, a lot of noise and everything, so people have to really dial in and get your foot on the ball and make sure you play some proper footy to get a result. And unfortunately for Woodbridge, it just wasn't their night. And going forward to yesterday's game, we covered the Oakville Blue Devils hosting the Woodbridge Strikers. Another great game, great atmosphere at Sheridan College. Lots of people in the stands, lots of noise. Once again, those home openers are always going to be noisy. So you always have to pay attention. You always got to play well. Especially Woodbridge started off very hot, a double by Ronaldo Marshall right away, pretty early into the game, followed by a goal coming from Oakville right before half. 2-1 at half. I feel like Woodbridge had it all in their hands, and then a bit of lack of possession, a bit of lack of play, got a tying goal by Oakville into the second half, and then a late goal by Oakville again, but followed by Anthony Morano getting one in 91st minute to tie the game, salvage a point for the Strikers in their first game of the league.
Yeah, it was one of those back and forth games. Like, it was really intense. There was a lot of atmosphere, like a lot of pressure on the ball. Everyone was just working back and forth, a lot of running. There was a lot of long balls being played too. So it was a very different game than any of the ones that we've played in preseason. But honestly, fair play to Oakville. They have their system. They have the way they want to play. They have a couple decent players, and their set pieces are clinical. But it was good that after that late goal, the 89th minute, that Anthony took the opportunity. The guy's 17, 18 years old, 2006 born kid, and he's out here being one of our top prospects for the next few years. So we're super excited to have him. Really looking forward to next week's game. But you know what? It was good to salvage a point in that at a really relatively tough environment. There's a couple hundred people there. It was a nice venue. The field, Sheridan, not my favorite turf, to be honest. It's a little sticky, a little old. So it could go with a nice cleanup. But at the end of the day, it'll do the job. But moving on now, scores from around the league. A couple games we want to highlight that I thought were pretty interesting this week and some cool results. First of all, NDC taking a 2-0 home opener win against Guelph. Guelph coming in with a new coach, new staff, but NDC showing their class yet again. Head coach Joey Lombardi, big Cloud North supporter from day one. And yeah, NDC is always going to be a team to beat. They got some of the best young talent, Canadian national team prospects, and we're looking forward to watching them play very soon. We're going to cover one of the games, especially one of their home matches.
Absolutely. It's always a good environment, the OSA, especially for NDC. They always just have that like swagger to them. So like every time they play, you always kind of see that, they're here and they're ready to ball out. Going forward a bit, we had another game for Guelph United versus Hamilton United. And this was played at Tim Hortons Field once again. Guelph took the 1-0 win over Hamilton with a Jared Adjaman PK in the 60th minute. And honestly, it was kind of a contested game. We were hearing a couple of our friends that were playing. They were telling us it was a bit harder game than they expected. But then, United got the result and 3 points in the opener.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, every game's going to be a grind. The Premier Division, everyone's obviously chasing the title and trying to avoid relegation. So every game is going to be a battle in both divisions this year. I think it's every game is pretty much a toss-up. So it'll be interesting to keep that following. Moving forward to some more games from last night. Burlington 3-2 over North Toronto.
Huge game.
2-0 down at half at home in their home opener. And then Augustus Oku subbed in at half after they get one back in the 50th minute or so. This guy scores the first goal around the 70th minute and then a 93rd minute winner as a substitute to win the game for Burlington. Super exciting stuff. I wish you were at it. I can't wait to watch the game film on YouTube because, like, what a game that was. And Burlington, North Toronto, again, two big clubs, a lot of resources, a lot of backing behind their League 1 side. So those will be definitely two tough games to play, both home or away. So it'll be that was a surprising result. Again, lots of goals in those games as well, very back and forth. But being down 2-0 at half to bounce back to win 3-2 is impressive. And then yesterday, of course, we had the doubleheader. We had the Simco Vaugh men's and women's doubleheader. Vaugh in the first game took a 2-1 win over Simco. Nothing too crazy to report there. It was relatively straightforward. There wasn't.
And Nia Fleming Thompson with a game-winning goal for Vaugh, in around the 60th minute or so, and then just straight defense from both sides. There was nothing really happening at the end of that. And then going forward into the men's side, we had Simco versus Vaugh once again because it was a doubleheader, and Simco was up early, and then it took Vaugh until the 96th minute or so to get the tying goal to salvage a point for Azzurri.
Yeah, last minute. Justin Thomas, center back, came from Memphis, used to play for Vaugh as well. I met him last week. We were training at the field, so it's cool that he got the goal. I watched it on the stream. Just quite literally last kick of the game, corner kick, goalie was out and everything, and just blasts a header in, celebrates with all the players. So good for Simco on getting the result, especially away from home after the TFC game. So it'll be interesting to see how they can keep this momentum going into the last little bit. Now, moving on to finally the game of the week. We've chosen a few games that I think would be kind of interesting to keep an eye on. We're going to try to be at both these games, but if there's any other games you think we should come check out, feel free to let us know. On Friday, we will be at the BVB Waterloo game against FC London, their home opener after a big 2-1 win over Pickering. We have a bunch of friends on the team. We're excited to come check it out here in our backyard here at Rim Park. So that'll be a good one for sure. And then on Sunday, we're going to be at Vaughan Grove covering the Woodbridge home opener. We've got a doubleheader with our men's and women's teams. The women playing at 3 p.m. against North Toronto, and then the men's closing out the weekend with a 7 p.m. kickoff also against North Toronto, which will be a rematch for what I believe will be our cup match in a few weeks. So big weekend coming up. Both those games are looking pretty tasty, but I don't know. I think the Sunday ones will be definitely one to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely agreed. It's kind of interesting, especially for the Waterloo game coming up. A couple of the ex-Waterloo players going over to FC London, so you're going to see a couple players playing against their old team, and lots of emotion kind of going into that one. I am going to do a little score prediction here for all three games. I think BVB Waterloo is going to be FC London 3-1. Woodbridge women's is going to beat North Toronto 2-0. And then I think it's going to be a 2-1 win for Woodbridge against North Toronto in the men's side.
Yeah, I would say on a similar note, I think Waterloo wins 2-1. Woodbridge women win 2-1, and then the men's game will probably be a 3-1 for me if I had to vote. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, feel free to send us a message if you want us to come cover our games on our website. We've been doing match reports for all the games that we've been at. All the pictures and everything are on our Facebook page, so feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching the first recap. We'll try to get some more people on in the future and make this into more of a production. But yeah, we're looking forward to the season. It's going to be good, and yeah, stay tuned.
It's going to be great, guys. Thank you for watching. See you soon.